This is in the 260th District Court of Orange County, Texas, and it's in the interest of Marisol Garcia and Miguel Aguanga. Miss Claudia Aguanga, would you please raise your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air?
It's in the air.
Ms. Aguanga, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. Mr. Francisco Garcia, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Who's handling this case for state?
I am, Your Honor.
Do you have any other witnesses besides the parties?
No, Your Honor.
All right, this appears to be a suit affecting that you filed on January the 6th of 2022.
Yes, Your Honor.
Call your first witness.
Your Honor, the state would call Claudia. Claudia, can you state your full name for the record?
Yes, ma'am. It's Claudia Yadira Aguanga.
Okay, do you have another part to your last name?
Yes, Zacarias.
Okay. And there are two children before the court, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are their names?
It's Marisol, Isabel Garcia Aguanga, and Miguel Angel Garcia Aguanga.
What's Marisol's date of birth?
It's August 3rd, 2015.
And what is Miguel's date of birth?
January 16, 2018.
Okay. And was there an acknowledgement of paternity that was signed by both you and Mr. Garcia after both the children were born?
Yes, ma'am, both of them.
Okay. Your Honor, I would ask the state to admit the acknowledgement of paternity for Marisol and Miguel.
All right, let me get him up on the screen. Ms. Aguanada, I've just placed on the screen a copy of the alleged acknowledgement from Marisol. Is it okay if I look at this one?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Garcia, same question. Is it okay if I look at this acknowledgement?
Yes, sir.
Exhibit A is admitted into evidence. Ms. Aguanada, I've just now placed on the screen a copy of the alleged acknowledgement from Miguel. Is it okay if I look at this acknowledgement?
Yes, sir.
Same question, Mr. Garcia. Is it okay if I look at this acknowledgement?
Yes, sir.
Exhibit B is admitted into evidence.
Can I continue, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Claudia, did you and Mr. Garcia used to live together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when did you separate?
In May of 2021.
Okay, May of 2021. And what kind of visits has Mr. Garcia had with the children since you separated?
He's been going every time that he's off of work, and every time that he gets out of work, since he works during the nighttime, he takes them like right after, so he has them during the day as well, and then he comes and brings them back home.
Okay. And how often is that?
Like every day.
So he's seeing them every day, picks them up, and then brings them back to you during the day?
Yes, he tries to do that every day. Sometimes he is tired, so he doesn't do it like every single day, but he has been going more than 4 times a week to get the kids and see them.
Okay. And how often does Mr. Garcia keep them overnight?
Only on his days off, for example, like a day or 2 out of the week.
And is that usually each week?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so he's keeping them at least 1 overnight. Is that what your testimony is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any concerns as to any safety issues between you and Mr. Garcia?
No, ma'am.
Does Mr. Garcia know where you reside?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Does he come to your house to pick up the children, drop them off?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What kind of health insurance are the children on?
They're on Medicaid.
Okay. And has Mr. Garcia provided any kind of support for the children since you separated in May?
No, ma'am. He's only given me like half of what the government has given. Like for each month that the government was giving money for the kids, he would give me half of that, and that would be all. He would not give me any more.
Okay, are you asking for just current child moving forward, current child support moving forward, or are you asking for child support, back child support from the time that you separated?
No, just for the moving forward. That's
Okay.
fine.
And do you know what kind of work Mr. Garcia does?
I think he's the manager in Walmart.
Okay. And do you happen to know what he makes?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Let me sure. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Call your next witness.
Now the state would call Mr. Garcia. Mr. Garcia, can you state your full name for the record?
Francisco Antonio Garcia Anaya.
Okay. And did you and Miss Aguinaga, I think I pronounced that right, did you both used to live together?
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you separate?
I honestly don't know.
Guesstimate?
2021, somewhere in the summer, I guess.
Okay. Would May 2021 sound about right?
It sounds about right.
Okay. And then how often do you see the children?
Try to at least every day.
Okay. And usually for how many hours is that?
Oh, I don't know. When I get off of work, I get off normally anywhere from 9 to 10, 11, and then I'm normally returning back at 8 or 9 p.m. when I go back to work.
Okay, so when you say, you're saying 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how often do you keep them overnight?
Right now, when I just started an overnight position, and I've been in this position for about 3 months now. So,
Okay, so how often have you been keeping them overnight in the last 3 months?
what was that, ma'am?
How often have you been keeping them overnight in the last 3 months?
Every week it's about 1 or 2 days. Sometimes it's 3 because I get 3 days off. So when I do get my 3 days off, it'll be 3 days. But
Okay.
most of the time it's 2.
All right. Do you have health insurance available to you through your employer?
Yes, man. Open enrollment don't start till November though.
Okay. Do you happen by chance to know how much that health insurance would be through your employer?
For me and the kids?
For just the children?
No, ma'am, I really don't.
Okay. And do you have any other children other than Marisol and Miguel?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Where is it you work?
Walmart in Port Arthur.
Okay. And how long have you been working there?
I started back in September
What year?
2021.
2021. And what is your position there?
Right now, I just promoted to overnight supervisor.
Okay. And how much do you make?
22 an hour.
How much was that?
22.
22.
But I am on we just got evaluated, so I'm fixing to get a raise that should take effect here in about 2 weeks, and it'll be bumped up to $23. I want to say $23.14.
23.14. So how many hours do you normally work a week?
It varies. Right now, Walmart really only does 80 hours, but right now, because overnight we have been getting a lot of freight, right now I'm averaging about 90 to 100, but I don't know when that would stop.
How often? Every 2 weeks?
Yes, ma'am, I get paid every 2 weeks.
Okay. I was like, oh, that's a lot of hours in 1 week. So you're saying 80 to 90 hours every 2 weeks?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And where did you work before you started working at Walmart?
A concrete company called Dun & Price in Louisiana.
Okay. And how long did you work there?
Close to a year.
And how much were you making there?
15.
15 an hour.
Yes, ma'am.
How many hours on average did you work there?
They're between 50 to 70 a week.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Call you next witness.
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia, you started to answer a question in regards to the health insurance at Walmart. How much is it going to cost you to put you and the kids on health insurance?
I honestly don't know. I can ask my HR and see how much it normally costs, but right now I really don't know.
I mean, Mr. Garcia, you're making enough money right now at Walmart that you should be able to have your kids on your health insurance through your job, okay?
Yes, sir.
You understand, Mr. Garcia? I don't have to wait for open enrollment. I get to sign a piece of paper and open that enrollment right now today if I want to. You understand?
Yes, sir.
It's called a life event. Anytime I sign a court order in regards to kids, Mr. Garcia, that creates a life event, which the federal law requires that employers open that enrollment as soon as I sign that life event order, okay?
Yes, sir.
Let me take a fresh look. All right. It also sounds like, Mr. Garcia, you see your kids often.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the way it was described to me by you and Miss Aguanaga, you actually spend more time with your kids than somebody that just has like weekend visits. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Miss Aguanaga, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this great visitation schedule that you and Mr. Garcia have been working on, how long have y'all been doing this on your own?
Since we separated.
Does it seem to be working for you and the kids?
Yes, it has, because they love spending time with him as well as with me.
Okay. Well, let me ask you something, Miss Aguanaga, because this is important. I have the ability to adjust Mr. Garcia's child support based on my calculations if I think that Mr. Garcia is spending more time with the kids than what a normal standard possession weekend visits would be. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you think I ought to do that?
Yes, sir.
Do you think I ought to lower his child support because he's spending more time with the kids?
Yes, sir. That would be fine with me.
Okay. I kind of agree with you, but I wanted to make sure before I did it.
Yes, sir. I understand, and I see it your way too.
Good. I always like that.
Yes, sir.
So, Ms. Aguanaga, if you had to guess, how much money would you say that Mr. Garcia is giving you on a monthly basis? Don't talk about any other kind of stuff you might be getting. Just cash money. How much would you say Mr. Garcia is giving you every month?
How much he would be giving me, or he
Yeah, how
has
much does he
given me?
normally give you?
He doesn't give me anything.
Oh, okay. Anything further, Mr. Alexander?
No further, nothing further. You're on the state rest.
Mr. Garcia, you got any questions or comments about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Aguanaga, do you have any questions or comments about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay. The court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find that based on the testimony of the parties, I feel like it's in the children's best interest to name the parties as joint managing conservators of the children with the mother as the primary custodian. There will be no non-disclosure in this case, and there will be no geographic restriction. I'm actually going to order Mr. Garcia to carry health insurance through his employer. I find that he does have it, that it's a reasonable cost. I did give him some credit toward his gross income for that. I'm going to find that Mr. Garcia's gross monthly income is $3,813 a month. He probably makes a little more with that with his overtime, but I'm not really sure that that's going to last for much longer. So I'm just going to base it on that. I did give him credit, Miss Alexander, for $340 a month for the health insurance. That's the full 9%. I just kind of felt like, based on what I see on the internet in regards to what Walmart's charging their employers currently, that's probably pretty close to what his gross monthly premium is going to be to add the 2 children. My calculations would be that Mr. Garcia would pay $715 a month in child support to Ms. Aguanaga. I'm actually going to vary that. I'm going to reduce that to $550 per month. I want to make a finding that Mr. Garcia spends additional time with the children in excess of the standard possession order, and therefore I'm going to use that as the basis for my variance. Mr. Garcia will be responsible for the court costs for the filing of this suit. I will give him until September the 30th of 2022 to pay my court costs. The payments will begin April the 1st, Ms. Garcia. Ms. Alexander. Ms. Alexander, did the state of Texas hear all the terms, conditions of my order?
Yes, Your Honor.
So just so we can go over it real quickly, JMC, standard possession, father carries the health insurance, 3313 would be the gross, 715 is what the calculation is, but I varied it to 550 based on the father having additional time with the children, and then court costs by September 30th.
So you just month 3813, yes?
3813 is what I calculated was the gross monthly
That's what
income based on his testimony.
That's what I have in no retro.
Yes, ma'am. No retro.
I have it all, Judge.
Mr. Garcia and Miss Aguanaga. Miss Alexander's office is going to send me an order. As long as it matches what I said here today, I'm going to sign it and send it back to them. And they're going to make a copy of it and send it to each of you. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, listen up. This is kind of important. And normally in a case like this, I would have set the child support at $715 a month. And that's what Mr. Garcia makes. But I got 2 really good parents in front of me that have been working together faithfully since they separated in May. I always try to do things in my court order to encourage you to continue that same trend in the future, even though I signed something that puts it all on paper. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this court order shouldn't do anything to change how Mr. Garcia or Ms. Aguanaga deals with their children. The only thing this court order is going to change is it's going to force Mr. Garcia to carry the health insurance on the kids. He has it available to his employer. That's the way it's supposed to be in the law. And it's going to create some child support flowing back from Mr. Garcia to Ms. Aguanaga. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Garcia, you got any questions about my ruling today?
No, sir. My only question was that you had said that she's going to have primary. What was it that you said?
I'm going to name you both as joint managing conservators with the mother as the primary custodian. But you share duties.
Okay.
You're supposed to, you've been doing things as good parents since y'all separated. This court order doesn't change that. It just means it's now in writing that you're going to continue to be good parents and share the responsibilities for your kids. It doesn't mean that you share time. It means you share the responsibilities.
Yes, sir.
Okay? All right. Anything further, Mr. Garcia?
No, sir.
Ms. Aguanaga, do you have any questions about my ruling today?
No, sir.
I wish you both the best of luck. You're both free to go.